Hello and welcome to Kump. Been gone for not too long this time. A lot has happened today. Some of it this week, but a lot today. It's a big day. We got a lot of big stories. A lot of big tributes to do. I guess we'll lead off with a death. This podcast will be born with a death. Is that poetic? A man who served something. I don't know if it was his country or not, but he served a force, if you will. A force for good? No, probably no. I mean, even if you don't buy into, I mean, who's got that? Who's got that angle that like this guy was a real maverick, but you know he got the job done, buttoned and closed, and like old Dwight Eisenhower just went over, sealed the deal, bing bang boom. I like Ike. I mean, who knows what that guy was about, but I don't think anyone is saying that about Donald Rumsfeld, infamous character in the rogues gallery of whatever you want to call it, the deep state, the knuckleheads, the guys who kill children, perhaps. I don't know. In another life, he could have been an ice cream man, roaming around the streets of, where is he from? Wisconsin? Poughkeepsie? Who knows where down the circle of, is it a circle of hell? I don't know. But Rumsfeld's dead, 88 years old. This is a man, if you're not familiar with him, that's crazy, but he was one of the architects of the post 9/11 response to the totally real attacks. He was the defense secretary of the George W. Bush, amongst other things before that. He was, I think his buddies were what's his name? Who's the VP? Cheney, the other robot heart boy. They were, he was his protege, or I think Cheney was his protege. Cheney's like 200 years old, but somehow he served under Donald Rumsfeld, and he brought his master back, Cheney did, into the George W. Bush administration to, at first, I remember, that was one of the first administrations I was aware for. Like when Clinton got in, I was young. I remember when, I was paying attention when Rumsfeld took the mantle. And he was talking a lot about we need to get lighter with the troops. We need a light infantry. Like he watched too much G.I. Joe. Where it's like, why these guys don't have that many tanks? They gotta give them some body or give them some Batman armor. We want our troops to be Batmen roaming around the Middle East or wherever, but the Middle East, we knew what was up. And we want him to just come and go. His whole idea, he didn't like the idea of like going somewhere, fighting a war, and then like doing anything afterwards, which is ironic. But the whole idea was to have a light infantry force that would just, basically be like the Mission Impossible guys. You come in, you overthrow. There were literally guys in the build-up to the Iraq War. I don't know if you remember this. You might be younger than me, or you were too busy smoking DMT with my mom. I don't know. I don't think she does, but, I wouldn't begrudge her. It'd be real awkward to find out one of you were my stepdad. That's why. Anyway, people literally going like, it's not like Mission Impossible, right? Like guys in the news were saying like, this isn't Mission. You don't just go over there and like put a mask on and overthrow. Like there's gonna be carnage. There's gonna be like people like fighting back. Like even if you win the war, and like, no one's gonna want you there. But that's the thing. Did he lose the war? No. Did he lose after the war? Not really, because that's not what these people are doing. Okay, you gotta remember, guys like Donald Rumsfeld tell you they want a G.I. Joe force. They want a supranational. That's the right word. Supranational, extra national force that just kind of comes in, parachutes in like Black Hawk Down, but doesn't get their helicopter. Have we ever done a mission where the helicopter didn't crash? I'm just asking. I have nothing on a helicopter pilot. I'm not begrudging them. I'm not, saying these guys aren't here. Like, those guys are dope. I don't care what the mission. I'm down with helicopter. I want to meet a helicopter pilot, hang out with them, nuzzle with them if they want, whatever. I'm just saying. It's not a sexual thing. I'm just, but like, I want to be there for a helicopter pilot. That being said, a lot of these things, they seem to crash a lot. I don't know. So the point is, he's talking about that before 9/11. And then all of a sudden he has a war to try it out on. Because 9/11 happens. And regardless of where you stand on the whole, was it, allowed to happen? Was it an operation planned by certain forces who may not have been Al-Qaeda? I don't know. But it's still odd. No matter what the morning of 9/11, by all accounts, Donald Rumsfeld could not be found in the PIAC, the bunker, because he was toiling on the Pentagon lawn, trying to put out the fire and save people, trying to lead. I mean, that must have been awkward, to say the least. Because you're like, I don't know, a general or like a military aide, whoever works for Rumsfeld, whoever the guys are whose job it is to like, hey, the Pentagon's getting attacked. Because they have to have, like, it's a military thing. They have to have their own forces that like respond, right? Their own military fire department. And they like, at least some of them knew. He's like traipsing around the fucking lawn. We gotta put this fire out. We gotta save these people. Like, sir, come on. Who are you kidding? We're not dumb. We know what this is. Go to the bunker. No, I didn't plan that. I didn't plan nothing. We gotta put this fire out. All right, you want to help? He's just fucking picking up pieces of like fake plane, perhaps. Maybe it's a real plane. There's speculation in a lot of ways. I just think it's fucking awkward. An awkward moment for some of the people. Like if you're like the 56th guy in the 9/11 conspiracy, and you can watch it. What are you doing, sir? This is not going to track. This is not going to play. What do you think? This is going to end up on a YouTube documentary. They didn't even have YouTube. Well, not yet, but they knew. There needed to be something. This will show up on something. What was it? E-Bombs World? This is going to show up on E-Bombs World. Remember that? The old video site? This is going to show up on homestarrunner.com. You traipsing around the Pentagon lawn trying to put out a fire. Like, I mean, at the very least, like, given the biggest benefit of that, don't you need to, like, respond? This is the most cynical operator next to Dick Cheney. And just a real reptilian kind of guy, real mercenary mind. There was literally a memo I was reading today. It reminded me of this. I've heard this before, but a memo about the torture stuff, which, Abu Ghraib went out, which he, oversaw. There's a memo he wrote in the margins of one of these reports about how the the prisoners, the detainees, were being made to stand for 4 hours at a time. And he writes in the margin, I stand for 8 to 10 hours a day. Why are we limiting it to 4 hours? Which, I don't think Donald Rumsfeld, I think they make you stand in like a weird position, right? Regardless, it's just that's the kind of guy where this is the guy who supposedly rushed out to the White House lawn, for the Pentagon lawn, after an attack and started trying to put out a fire. I don't know. That tracks to you. I don't know what to tell you. But I admire it. It's a lot of chutzpah. It's a lot of showmanship. Dick Cheney wasn't doing that. Dick Cheney wasn't a showman. Rumsfeld was a showman. Rumsfeld was like a weird, like, dirty magician who'd he had that whole speech when they were asking about hey, I don't know what they were asking him in the first place. It was probably like, hey, so how many kids got killed by our attacks today, Mr. Rumsfeld, at one of these, wartime briefings? And he starts going off in that famous speech of, well, look, you have just 4 different ways. You got known knowns, you got known unknowns, you got unknown knowns, you got unknown unknowns. And wait, how many kids were shot in the face today? See, the things you know that you know, that's one thing. And then you got the things that you know you don't know. No, sir. How many bullets went into the throats of little kids out of guns that were American? And you got the unknown knowns, the things you don't know you know. Well, that doesn't even make sense, but whatever. And then you got the unknown. Like, it's just a masterful, I mean, how many paralyzed? What's an unknown? Unknown. That's how much Donald Rumsfeld gives a shit if he paralyzes a child. That's an unknown. He doesn't know that, but he doesn't know it because he doesn't care. But this is the guy who's out on 9/11 trying to put out a fire with his firefighting buddies. Was he part of like the volunteer Pentagon Fire Department? Was it like one of those volunteer fire departments like on Long Island where like they have a little race team with a race engine? On Sundays, does Donald Rumsfeld go out with the Pentagon Fire Department and compete with like the White House Fire Department and like have a little racing like fire engines that like they were in the budget. They got them written into the budget, but like why are the taxpayers paying for these firemen to race engines? I'm not trying to be a rat. It's fine. It's for morale. So was that part of it? I can't let my firefighting boys down. I don't care. Just shoot a missile somewhere. I gotta help these boys. So I mean, you can argue. You can. I mean, there was a Errol Morris documentary. What was it called? I forget. Let's see. Errol Morris. Because famously, Errol Morris, he's a great documentarian, made The Thin Blue Line, and he made a lot of great movies. What else did he make? Tons of stuff. But he made a movie called The Fog of War with Robert McNamara, who's also a defense secretary under Kennedy and then, I guess, Johnson. Errol Morris. And he made this, the McNamara film, won an Academy Award for documentaries. Because it was like, McNamara was a guy who, kind of similar to Rumsfeld, it seems like, came from like, a business background. He was the CEO of IBM? He might have been CEO of IBM or high up guy in IBM. And they brought him into the Kennedy administration to wage war on Vietnam. They needed to bring the computer power of Big Blue to fight, to bring terror in the jungles of Vietnam, to fight communism. And famously, it's almost like an axiom or a thing. It's not even like that debatable. I mean, you read Foreign Affairs magazine, the CFR thing, which I used to read, and they'll tell you like we didn't lose Vietnam. Just literally in this magazine, like my brother used to get it. I would read it, and it was like it comes out quarterly. It's just Council on Foreign Relations. We all know what that is, right? The whole globalist, whatever, started by David Rockefeller, and they're all everyone who's involved in the national security apparatus is part of it. And they have a thing, foreign relations every quarter, and they have the articles in there about how like we didn't actually lose Vietnam. It was a huge success. I'm like, really? I mean, am I being lied to, or is this just sometimes it seems to be the angle of like we were trying to get cadmium, or what's another weird mineral they would get? We were trying to get lithium was the future war, the Afghanistan war. Oil. We were trying to get oil. We weren't trying to fight the Vietnamese. It's that kind of. And so, whatever. Point is, the documentary was great. And because, McNamara kind of looked back and went, I thought I could kind of whiz kid, game theory my way through Vietnam. And I lost a lot of lives, cost a lot of people their lives. It was tragic. And then he would cry at certain points. And it was moving and touching. And the guy who's like, it's hubris. It's a portrayal of hubris finding its folly. That's nice. I should be a critic. But then you have, a few years later, he makes, same guy, Errol Morris, makes a similar documentary with Donald Rumsfeld. And it couldn't be further from the goddamn thing. It's called it's called The Unknown Known. Playing by that speech I just gave you. The known unknown. And the whole gimmick was that same idea. Let's look back at the Iraq War. And you couldn't. It's like, remember in Blade Runner when you had the Voight Kump test? It's like when they put that thing in your eye, and it's like, tell me about the memories you got of your mother, and they're trying to see if you're a robot or not, by how much your pupils dilate or some shit. He would have passed out with flying colors. This guy don't fucking react. This guy was motor oil in the veins, chugging along. There was no revelations. He was like, "Nah, we were right. We were right. This is not that maybe. I don't remember. I haven't watched it in years. I remember watching it going, this guy don't fucking, he's just nothing to get." McNamara was a bitch compared to Rumsfeld. I mean, probably a better man. But, you can't. Rumsfeld's not getting played by Errol Morris, right? This guy is a guy who, he's a mercenary. He's a firefighter. So we've lost him at 88. 88 years old. He oversaw the torture. He oversaw... He tried to quit twice during the torture thing. I tried to resign twice, and President Bush wanted to keep me on. And Bush wasn't an idiot. No, he's not jumping ship as soon as the torture comes out. Rumsfeld's, Rumsfeld's savvy, but they ended up firing him, I think, in the midterms or whatever. I don't know. But he was I was going to say a good guy, but he was a figure, someone to look back on. Another equally large looming presence. You wonder almost if there's a connection here. This one's an artist, a comedian, if you will. I guess just a comedian. Controversial figure, beloved by many for years. America's Dad, they called him. They also called him the rapist. Oh, look at that rapist. Look at that big rapist, raping everyone, rapes all the women, raped 100 women, 50 women, whatever it was. I guess I have to switch it to alleged. How much, in hindsight now, do people have to switch things to allegedly? Is this a problem for people? Because people have been running wild for years now, talking about Bill Cosby and rapes. And now, are they going to go scouring YouTube and try and filing their own charges against all the people, who is that allowed? Do you have to put, allegedly back onto it? Because Bill Cosby has been let out of prison. Some kind of appellate court. I don't know if it was the Supreme Court of the United States. Probably not. It was some kind of appellate court. Apparently, so he had this trial, right? Because he was accused of raping like 500 women. Was it 50? Somewhere between 50 and 500 women. But I think the trial was only for one woman. And I think she wanted to sue him. This is what I'm trying to gather together. The woman wanted to sue Bill Cosby. And so the DA's office made a deal with him that he couldn't be charged with a crime. This is years ago, apparently. Years before the, trial. So that he could, then he would be able to be deposed and be sued. See, I don't know what the gimmick is, because apparently you can only avoid, so you can't avoid, I remember it now, you can't avoid testifying unless it's for a criminal charge. So I guess if a DA says, well, we're not going to charge you, then the civil court can compel you to testify, and you can't say, well, I don't want to incriminate myself. Well, no, we've taken care of that. We've wiped out the rape cases. We're not going to charge you with rape. Why would we do that? You're America's Dad, the Jello Man. That's what the judge said. The judge said, look, Bill Cosby, you've been accused of many, many rapes, and I don't care because I love the Cosby Show. I love Ghost Dad. I'm a big Ghost Dad boy. That scene in Ghost Dad where you drugged a bunch of women ghosts, and then you raped them. That's why I became a judge. I'll be honest with you. I don't like to admit that in public just because I try to be a tough judge, letter of the law, that kind of thing. Throw the book at you, But, when I saw Ghost Dad and I saw you raping those women, I cried. I said, this is such a beautiful movie. Ghosts raping the other ghosts. I got to be a judge. I don't know the connection. I don't know why he thought I got to be a judge. But that's what he did. And so apparently this judge, because, anything's got to be approved by a judge. I mean, any crackpot DA can, say, hey, we're going to let you rape kids. And the judge will be like, hold on a second. Hopefully. And then in reality, maybe not. But you would hope the judge would, they have the power to say, hold on. I understand. It's my understanding that the DA is offered to allow this man before me to rape children with impunity. But I say no because I'm a judge. That's the power of a judge. That's why you have judges for things like that. So DAs can't just say, "Go rape a kid." Like they can't because the judge will be like, "Maybe let's rethink this. At least put a time limit on this deal. Don't just give this guy a fucking a license to kidnap children. Give him a certain number. If he's going to get you into the golf club, I get it, but maybe give him like a sandwich club card. So you get this many. That's what my point is. The judge has to approve these things, and apparently it was approved. So he was given a license to perform sexual acts however he saw fit. He was probably given the title of Professor Emeritus of the United States, something along those lines. The judge cried at his feet, washed his feet like Jesus and the apostles, and said, go with God. You might have to pay this woman off. That's the price you pay for being the great man. And who would have known that would come back to bite him? The DA's office. Who would have known? Because I guess they thought, they heard. It was like that scene. I don't want to ruin it, actually. It's going to ruin the show, which has been on for years. Doesn't matter. We'll move on. That's how much I'm not a spoiler. I don't spoil things, all right? I don't spoil things that are 15 years old. Some yahoos out there will be like, look, remember the Sopranos ending? No, I'm not going to do it. I care too much about my fans. So that doesn't matter. Point is, I guess they heard him testifying in the civil court, describing all the ways he raped this woman. Again, am I going to be in trouble for am I on hot water now because I'm saying he described himself raping people? Or that I would say allegedly? I don't know. This is a very tricky thing. It's a very tricky. Hold on a second. Very dicey, dicey realm for podcasts. There's going to be a mountain of lawsuits. Bill Cosby's going to come back and be like, you motherfuckers thought that I was out. I was in prison. You thought I was going to die of COVID in prison like some bitch. And I would never rape again. But, look at me now. Now you have egg on your face. Who's the great man now? And that judge is probably out over his house, just, giving him back rubs. But yeah, I guess it's the other DA. I mean, I think it's a different DA. They elected the DA who doesn't like rape in Pennsylvania, which was that was his campaign. He's like, I'm not going to do much. I'm not going to solve crime. I'm not going to make it safer for your kids to play at the playground. I'm not going to make it safer for your grandma to buy fruit at the fruit store. But I'll tell you this. If someone gets raped and there's mountains of evidence and there's victims coming forward and there is just and there is a tremendous amount of public will to convict this guy. Here's what I do. I won't give him a license to rape. And that's what he won, I guess. He won on that. And therefore he comes in and goes, I heard these things. The testimony. Was he at the civil case? Because apparently it came to light in the civil case. These information. So he's in the back. He's in the back, just eating popcorn, listening to Bill Cosby describe what happened with the drugs and the women, and he's just going, "Oh my God, what do we do? I campaigned on not letting this happen. On not letting rapes be legal. Oh, I got to charge this guy." And they told him, we got to deal with this guy. Like, hey, what are they gonna, we'll just do it. And then, what do you mean? We're a lawyer. You can't just do it. We'll just do it. No, but there's legal precedent. We can't just turn out the appellate court. Screw it. I mean, that literally seems to be the deal. Because as horrible as it is, someone was describing this to me, and I don't know if it's fair. I'm like, legally, it seems like you can't just lie, give someone immunity and then just charge them or something. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to give them immunity. But it's also it seems crazy that no one thought of this It must have just been, screw it. Let's just, who's gonna vote to overturn the greatest, the conviction of the greatest rapist of all time? What ballsy judge would do that? Maybe it was the same judge who gave him the thing in the first place. Maybe he gave him that deal, and then he like, don't worry, Bill. When he's going to jail, he comes to see him. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna become a appellate judge, and we're gonna get you because they can't. You're the ghost dad's the reason I'm a judge. I can't let this fly. This is insane. And so, Bill Cosby is out of jail now. I mean, he's 3? He's an old man. So, I mean, he can't rape that many people, probably, hopefully. But we never know. I mean, with technology the way it is, and his means, I mean, he could be like Rape Batman. The Batman of rape. I mean, he is. I mean, that's basically what he was. He's a rich guy, a famous guy, a playboy, if you will. Everyone knows, like everyone basically probably, in real life, everyone knows Batman's Bruce Wayne. And in real life, everyone knows that he's the rape guy, the alleged rape king, the alleged king of all rapists. And now he's out, and you think, well, he's not going to do it again. I do not subscribe to that kind of logic at all. I definitely am of the opinion that people. I mean, look, I can't prove he's going to. I don't know if he's going to, but the fact that if anything, he might have been sitting there, during the pandemic going, I can't believe they're going to rape again. That's the thing that really sticks in your craw. Someone told him about some kid dying, his kid. That's sad, but really gets me moved to almost a tear. They'll never rape again, and now you've let him loose. And so who knows what's going to happen? I mean, he might just start do mayhem, just running through the streets with a in a jello dressed like a jello jiggler, shooting people and then raping their bodies, dead bodies, dying bodies. Who knows? He's basically the Joker now. I mean, because O.J. Simpson never got convicted of that. He went to jail was for getting his memorabilia back. So, who else is the most famous guy? I mean, the other famous people are stayed in prison, right? Who's that guy? The guy who played Kojak, right? He shot his wife, and then Phil Spector. Did he get off? I think he finally went to jail. Chris Benoit killed himself. Who's the most? I mean, him and OJ, but he is basically been let out on a technicality, but was convicted. So he's the Joker. OJ's not the Joker. OJ's like the Riddler. He's a funny guy. So I don't know. We're gonna look. You wish there was Batman. You wish there was a Batman to fight. Who would be the Batman? Hannibal Buress? I mean, he's the guy who started this thing, right? Hannibal Buress was the comic. Still a comic, but I think he was talking about it a lot in general. And he's like, because Bill Cosby was always talking about the black community or whatever, young black men need to, I mean, it's not new ground I'm covering, but they need to take responsibility and stop acting a fool, whatever. And so how you always tell black guys to pull their pants up, you're a rapist. And then he would tell his joke, I guess, and it spread. And I try to do the same thing with a lot of people over the years. I've tried to pull that off, and I've never been. I mean, whether or not they did it or not, and I've never been able to get someone brought down with the courts. I just love for this podcast. I would just love to one day bring someone down with my humor and my wit. So there's no both. I mean, is there a connection between Rumsfeld? What is that noise? What is going on? Is there a thunderstorm? I think it's raining outside. Well, I'm professional, so I'll move on. I'm inside. It doesn't matter. But was Rumsfeld connected? I mean, Rumsfeld's sitting around somewhere in his bunker, and they come to him. The Illuminati, the reptiles, the deep state, and they say, hey, Donnie boy, we have one more mission for you. we have one more thing we want you to not fuck up. And you never fuck up. You never let us down, Donald Rumsfeld. You've always been our greatest soldier. We want you to get the king of rapes out of jail. We want you to get look, you did 9/11. You did the torture. You did Abu Ghraib. You did all the things. Wouldn't you like to go meet the Grim Reaper, knowing that you got the king of all rapes out of prison? And they brought him in and said, you don't come back from this mission. This is a one-way mission. And he had to go, I don't know, like forge a bunch of documents or like just rape a bunch of women. I don't know how the Illuminati works, all right? Like, I'm not saying, but Rumsfeld, it's like The Rock, basically. It's like, Donald Rumsfeld is Sean Connery in The Rock. He has to go plant some documents in the DA's office. And then I don't know why he has to die. He shot himself, probably. If you look at Rumsfeld's, autopsy, he's probably got like a big self-inflicted bullet wound in his face, which he gave himself knowing that he fucking saved the rape king of all rapes. So, is it a beautiful ending? I mean, does that make it better? I don't know. It does seem like a nice. They're probably friends, Rumsfeld and Cosby. I mean, Cosby. At this point, if you're gonna do 9/11, aren't you gonna call the rape king? You're gonna kill Kennedy. You're gonna call the rape. I mean, I don't know if he was active when by the time they killed Kennedy. I don't know if Cosby was like full on, massive rape Batman, rape Joker. But I mean, by the time 9/11 happened, you're calling him in. You're calling in Cosby and saying, hey, here's our plan. We're going to fly 2 planes in the towers, plane in the Pentagon, it's really a missile, yada, yada, yada. What can you do? And he goes, I can rape some women on the day. And we go, I don't know if that helps, but sure. And so that's how he was part of 9/11. And honestly, as disconnected as that seems, it probably wouldn't have gotten pulled off. There's karmic energy here, right? There's cosmic forces at play. And, who knows what kind of world events were shaped by the rapes of Bill Cosby. I mean, the Grenada, Panama, we were playing, Noriega, all that shit. The AIDS crisis, COVID even. I mean, was COVID might have been a spot. Honestly, now that I think about it, COVID, Cosby might be a rape magician. And he might have fucking, in jail, been like, oh, I made COVID happen. You got to let me out of jail or you get another pandemic. And when, we got the Delta variant. We got through the first one. We're not letting the king of all rapes out of jail just because of, something, what was it, the flu? Because it's back like last March. Remember, I was like, oh, it's like the flu, but a little worse. It's like, oh, was it the flu? Well, we'll take our chances, king of all rapes. And he goes, not like the flu. And then you see, it was a pandemic. And then we made the vaccine, and we got through it. And then he's like, oh, you still not going to let me out? And like, no, here's a Delta variant. And like, oh, we can't fuck with that. And that's what, he made a deal. Can I prove that? Probably. If I went to the library, I could probably prove it. Just saying. I mean, there's known unknowns, and there's unknown knowns. The unknown unknown is whether or not Bill Cosby created COVID with his rape magic and used it to leverage himself out of prison. It's an unknown unknown, as Rumsfeld would say. So, I guess he's going to go back to the Cosby Show. They're going to reboot that. Him and Roseanne. They're going to make is he going to go on Oprah with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? Is he going to join was it ArchieCon? Archiewell? If Bill Cosby is, mark my word, I'm going to put, I want to go on one of these betting apps. I need to get one of these betting apps as a sponsor. And they can, and I want to do a parlay bet about whether or not Bill Cosby ends up on the board of directors of Archiewell, the charity that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry operate with Oprah Winfrey and Rumsfeld's robot robot's specter or whatever. Whatever weird robot vessel Rumsfeld is now occupying because his corporeal form has been sacrificed to let Cosby out of jail. It's a heat wave. We're moving on. It's a transition. It's a heat wave. All throughout the West Coast, they're calling it global warming. Who am I to say otherwise? I mean, again, is it rape magic? Anything can be rape magic. That's the problem. Is this gonna be hard to monetize this episode? Perhaps. But I don't know what's causing all this stuff. People are really uncomfortable. It's very humid out. I try to stay inside, but it's very hot out. And then people are getting sunstroke. People are killing their kids. I saw a bunch of articles about people killing their kids. I don't know if it's related to the heat. There's one mother, killed 3 kids and then tried to kill herself. How do you kill 3 kids and not be able to kill yourself? That's got to be embarrassing, right? I don't have the article in front of me, but I don't want to start reading out names anyway about this. It's tragic. But I mean, you suffocate 3 children and you try to kill yourself? That's got to feel dumb. That can't. I mean, you got to feel like a real fuck up. I mean, what's more? Is it better to not kill your kids? I mean, probably. I mean, that's the thing. Killing yourself, you feel dumb if you don't pull it off. But killing your kids, and I don't know. It's just. It seems like you should have maybe set up some kind of weird harness with a blade or something, some kind of weird device, blowing yourself up. It's just gotta be so. Now you're sitting there, and the kids are dead the whole time. So what? You're just sitting around like I tried to kill myself. Do you wake up and the cops are there? Maybe that's what happened. I feel like it was just you have plenty of time to kill yourself. Did you just kind of lose the passion for it? Maybe. But it's a heat wave. Speaking of that, it's a heat wave. Kids are dying, and people are dying at the beach. They're dying, in the middle of a parking lot, 7-Eleven, because they can't get their big gulps because it's too hot. I got a screeching alert in my phone about conserving energy, which I won't. They go to hell. If we're all being a blackout together, and they'll come and they'll come from my body and they'll beat me and they'll bite me and they'll shower me with knives. But I'm not turning my AC off. I'm not turning off the lights around my Batman figures. And I'm not turning off the toilet light, which I have on for no reason. I brought a toilet light and I put it in there. It's colored lights now in the toilet. And it's luxurious. And I'm not turning it off. I don't care how many Bill Cosby disciples come to my apartment, break down the doors, and say, "The night of rapes is back. This is the night of all rapes, and we're here to rape you on the orders of Bill Cosby." I won't regret a thing. My Batmans need their lights. Speaking of which, we have our new recurring segment. This is where we do a different. I've been filling my depressed hole with Batman toys. So every week we feature a new Batman toy. This last week we did the Flashpoint Batman, if you remember, which was the Thomas Wayne. Instead of Thomas Wayne dying, in the arms of his son died, and so he became Batman. It doesn't make sense, but it's great. He was a great Batman. We all loved him. This is the White Knight Batman. Now, White Knight is a comic that came out a few years back about the Joker going straight, basically, just to fuck with Batman, which is great. He's like, I'm so bored having a fucking fight, these tricks, do all these little tricks to get you and killing, shooting your Batgirl in the head and doing all these things, killing your Robins. Because what happens is it starts out. This is the White Knight Batman. This is the red variant, I guess. It was from Target. I got it because it was Target. I bought a bunch of stuff at Target a bunch of Dr. Pepper and Diet Coke over the pandemic, and they give you these rewards points, right? But you can't use them on the same day delivery, which I get for the soda. And that's all I use Target for, really. So soda and toilet paper and paper towels. So I had this money accumulated in my Target account, and I used it to buy the White Knight Batman red variant. It's not really red in the comics. I think it's just Target wanted to make it red, but it's not even red. It's like really more of a weird browny orange. But he starts out the comic. He's chasing Joker down on over rooftops, driving on rooftops of his crazy Batmobile, and he gets the Joker pinned down in a warehouse, and there's a bunch of pills there. I think he's trying to steal pills, and he's just beating Joker and just shoving pills down his throat like, you scumbag motherfucker. And the pills end up, making him less crazy. They work. But, I mean, regardless, you can't just go shoving pills down criminals, even if you're a Batman. And so Joker kind of, uses this as a launching point to go after police corruption and Batman corruption, more to it, and the corruption of Batman, which is a little bit of honestly, I read a lot of Batman comics. To be fair, Batman is, it's not really it's a one-off. It's not really canon, I don't think, because I don't think Batman, as brutal as he can be, I've never ever seen him before shove random pills down someone's throat. It's not really his MO. I mean, the guy who doesn't use a gun because he doesn't want to kill people because it's ethos. I don't think he's like, I won't use a gun, but I'll shove a bunch of fucking Klonopin down some child's mouth. That's fine. I'm Batman. Regardless, it's a great comic. It's a cool figure. He's a White Knight Batman. You should definitely read, Joker, Batman, White Knight. Enjoy it. What else is going on? So we have. Okay. So speaking of Target, you know what I previously purchased with these points months ago? A trimmer to cut my hair, which is nice. That's why my hair is always, nice and evenly cut now with my beard, and I learned to cut my hair with the hair trimmer. It's lovely. And what happens? Apparently, the last time I was cutting my hair, I must have been drunk, and I must have thrown the trimmer onto the bathroom floor, pissed all over it, started kicking it, because I got to use it today, or yesterday, really. And it was, it's busted. I can't get the goddamn thing to work. It's not connecting to the stupid thing. I'm supposed to go on vacation with my girlfriend's family, and they're gonna see me all scruffy. I got to do the podcast. I'm going to be all scruffy. That's no good. It's a problem, right? So what do? Well, what else did I purchase recently? If you listen to the Patreon, you heard me talking about all the new soaps that I bought. Now, I bought the Dr. Squatch soap, which you might have seen on YouTube. Maybe it shows up on this YouTube video. Who knows? The man's scent soap. I also bought a bunch, what's called Soldier soap. Which is a bunch of soaps like Air Force Sky and Army Battlefield, but they're made of real fat, I guess. They're good soaps, but whatever. The man's soaps are manly smells. They smell like guns and blood and just, fucking sex with men, whatever. It's just, men having sex with women or men, doesn't matter. Just manly smells. But what I didn't tell the Patreon was I also bought a nice new ball trimmer. I guess I wasn't gonna name it because they don't advertise on it, but I bought one of those crazy what do they call them? Manscaped. The Manscaped. I bought the lawnmower landscape. They don't advertise with me, but I bought one because I was feeling like I wanted to treat myself. I bought a goddamn $100 Manscaped trimmer so I can because I've tried to trim my balls and gotten bloody balls, all right? Again, this should be an advertisement. Why aren't they advertising? My balls bleed when I don't use their product, but they won't give me money. They want to give money to some podcast about, hey, we're going to tell you what happens when, how does the sun work? That's a podcast hosted by Norm from Cheers, or the third guy from Scrubs does a podcast about weird Western European torture history, hosted by the guy from Dr. Cox from Scrubs. But and I'll give him all the money, and then he'll go. What? Well, he's sitting there on ball trimming. You could tell he doesn't trim his balls. Someone trims them for him, right? He's got some kind of Hollywood masseuse who he puts his balls in their mouth and they have sharp teeth and they just gnash. And it's very nice. It's soothing, it's massaging, and that's how he trims his balls. Meanwhile, I'm telling you, if I didn't use this ball product, my balls were bleeding. So I got a nice ball trimmer. And so you see where this is going. I had to cut my hair. It had to be done, right? I was looking scruffy. I was looking like a mess. So I go, this thing's busted. I can't, I'm leaving the next day. I can't just get a new trimmer from, Target. I use all the money to buy a Batman. All that Target money. So I said, I'll use the ball trimmer. And not recommended. Recommended for the balls. Works great for the balls. It left divots all over my head. So I had used it on my balls and my asshole, which is like, whatever. I mean, I can wash my head. What do you think? I'm like, this thing's touched your asshole and now it's touching your head? Yeah, it's called soap. I got plenty of it, all right? Don't give me shit. But it left divots all over my head. It's, again, they never said, I never heard Bill Nye the Science Guy promoting the Manscaped trimmer saying, and use this on your head. Hey, once you're done with your balls, here's what you do. You shave your balls. Shave your balls and your dick, the shaft of your dick, and inside your asshole. And then, here's what I want you to do. I want you to use ball trimmer you just bought, and then shove it in your face. Shove it in your face, cut your beard, and then lick it. No one ever told me that. But I was in a pinch. I was in a jam. I thought I was doing the right thing. And so my hair, I wear hats anyway. But if I have to get in a situation with the family now, my girlfriend's family, and they see, and I have to take my hat off, which I'm going to try not to. But I'm going to take my hat off, and they're going to see divots. And what am I going to say? I got to tell them about the ball trimmer, because it's worse otherwise. At least the ball trimmer, you can make that a fun story. You can say, look, we've all been there. You're shaving your balls. It feels fantastic. You're a little drunk. You smoked a little bit of weed. You smoked a little bit of fucking other thing, meth, maybe. You get a little Adderall mixed with some, how it goes, mother-in-law or whatever. Grandmama. Talking to her grandmama about this. You know how it goes, right? And then you get a little divot in your head because you tried to trim your hair. That sounds better than I'm a moron who used a regular trimmer and couldn't pull it off. Because at least the ball trimmer doesn't come with 4-inch guards. It comes with a little guard that just prevents you from cutting your dick. But it doesn't allow you to keep a certain amount of hair and not trim the rest of it. Are we getting the point here? Are we getting the picture? So that's why my head is full of divots. You don't notice probably, but maybe on the Kump Dump episode this month I'll show my divoted head, like a carny. Speaking of, well, not speaking of that at all. Moving on completely. What's going on with this condo collapse? A condo has collapsed in Florida, and they keep telling me in the news that apparently that they found another dead body, right? This condo collapsed 4 days ago. I didn't pay attention at first. That's how just kind of grizzled and jaded I am. I'm sitting there, I'm buying Batman toys online, and it pops up and it says, "Hey, a condo has collapsed in Florida." And I say, "Another day, another dollar." That's where my initial thing. When 9/11 happened, I was basically like that. Someone's like, a plane's hit the Twin Tower. Like, oh, that's sad. That's a shame. Because I assumed it was, it was some guy in a little whirly-bird. And he crashed. Whatever. My point is, I've never been one to start, like Donald Rumsfeld, getting theatrical in big moments. And start going, we got to help these people. That's not who I'm not Donnie, all right? Oh, we got to look, come on, boys. Let's put out this fire. That's not who I am. So I didn't really pay attention at first. And then... But as the days go on, it's hard to ignore the constant, hey, we found another body, and there's 150 people still missing. And I keep scouring these articles because I'm curious, because they say we're still looking for survivors, which, God bless you. This is a tragic event, and it's very sad. And if you know anyone involved, my heart goes out to you. But the way they cover these events, just tell me, have you found anyone yet? I'm pretty sure they haven't.
But like, it's just they leave you. They kind of keep like leaving you. They want you to like to kind of be curious. That's the point. They want to. Hey, we got 150 more people to go. So why don't you stay tuned? And they just have a death clock going to like the 150 or 170, whatever. It seems barbaric. It seems like like they're just relishing, like they're savoring everybody. How about you just don't talk to me? I mean, look, the people who need to know are looking into this. And I'm not saying keep it off my plate. I'll cry all week. I'll do my novenas for the people in the condos. But it seems perverse to have to be doing like a Cosby show style extravaganza for every body they find. They go, well, that's one more. That's one out of. They're doing like a lotto numbers. Like the ball pops up, and that's 1 out of 150. This one's dead. That's dead. So, but that means the odds of finding a live one don't change. I mean, you think it goes up, it doesn't go. It goes down maybe. I don't know if they're gonna find anyone. Maybe they do. It just seems like a pervert. I mean, who's responsible? Apparently, they're trying to blame people. I mean, maybe this was related to Cosby and Rumsfeld. Maybe this was diversion. People were paying attention to the condo, and like that's the thing. Like they bring Donnie in, the agent Donald Rumsfeld, into the secret Pentagon, in Delaware. And they go, we got this mission, and it's the best. It's like apocalypse now. You won't want another mission after this, and you'll be dead. You'll be dead. So it doesn't matter if you do. And he goes, well, what's the mission? Well, I can't do it. I can't get into the DA's office and forge these papers and shoot myself in the chest. It can't be done. He goes, no, we have a diversion. We're gonna blow up this condo. And people are gonna be paying attention to that. And no one's gonna be looking at the DA's office. And he goes, that's brilliant. I wish I thought of that on 9/11. And they go, you did. Like, I know. And then they laugh. And this person who's talking to him is, I don't know, Saddam Hussein, who's still alive. Saddam Hussein is actually Donald Rumsfeld's handler, not the other way around. He's the guy. So he's sitting around in the Delaware Pentagon, handing out missions to guys like Rumsfeld and Cheney. Cheney's the one that got the OJ out, but he didn't have to kill himself. But good for them. Good for them. Do I think it's worth it? No. I if you ask me, I don't think that they should have collapsed a condo to distract and kill 150 people or more just to make a diversion to get Bill Cosby out of jail. I don't agree with this. I want that to be very clear. I'm just speculating intelligently. What's the word? Like when you give an intelligent guess, right? An educated guess is what I'm giving. But no, I don't advocate for this. I'm not running my campaign for mayor on this. It's sad. It really is sad. I mean, look, if there are probably other ways to get Cosby out of jail without killing another 175 people. They didn't need to. There's kids that were dead in that thing. Kids. You didn't have to kill kids to get, you could have just, broken into the prison. I mean, that's the one thing. Rumsfeld was too old. I mean, if it was 20 years ago, maybe Rumsfeld breaks into prison, kills all the guards, and then, finds Bill Cosby and says, he's like, I'm escorting precious cargo, and they escaped the prison together. But he was too old to pull that off, so they had to blow up a condo, and it's sad. What else? Britney Spears is in the news because apparently, I mean, I don't know how much news there needs to be about this. We talked about this, a month or two back on the podcast. We watched that dumb documentary with all these, stupid, paparazzi going like, oh, we just wanted to, see what was up with her. We just wanted to invade her privacy for 5 minutes, ask her about a dead kid or whatever the fuck, and then and send her, trigger her into a mental breakdown and then leave. And she's making a big deal about it. That means I'm not that sympathetic with Britney Spears. I mean, I am. It's just a person. Stop it. Handle your fame better. I'll say that. If you have the money and the fame, just handle it better. It's kind of like you say about the NBA. And we watch the NBA playoffs, and it's like, Kevin Durant, I'm not a huge fan. He's a tremendous talent, Kevin Durant. Not a fan of his. He's the guy. He's always. If you don't follow basketball, you might remember he's the one with the burner phones. He's always clapping back of his burner phone. Sometimes he gets caught because he gets to switch the accounts, I guess. And he'll respond to random people on Twitter going like, he's the best player of all time. Stop giving, I disagree. I think Kevin Durant's the best. And he's whatever. He got to think of Scottie Pippen because Scottie Pippen, was critiquing his game. And weren't you the asshole who fucking didn't want to go back into some play in the finals because your coach didn't let you take the shot and it's just really petty. Point is, what was I talking about? Oh, Britney Spears. Yeah, my point is he didn't. They were in a Game 7 situation with the Nets. He built a super team with Kyrie Irving and James Harden, and they got Blake Griffin. And if you don't know these names, they're big names. Some bigger than others, but very big name, very big super team. And both those guys got injured, and he was left. And he did some tremendous feats. He scored like 49 points and 50 points, but he didn't win. And he lost in the last minute. They could have won, but he got his foot on the line, and they had to go to overtime because the shot he made was only a 2-point shot. And you know what you say to that? You should have gotten it done. Now, I got into the matter. My point is, I can't sit here and start going like litigating what a tremendous basketball boy, could have, would have, should have done. And the same thing with Britney Spears. Just don't, Britney. I mean, you're great. It's sad what they're doing to you, but my general stance is like, don't keep it together. If you got the money, it's just kind of like you can't expect the peasants to start worrying about what some guy who's giving they give you $200 million now. It's like, oh, I hope you also win the championship. Like, I don't care. I hope you do, but so the point of Britney Spears, but I care. Like, why? I don't understand why the government's keeping her. They let people just L.A. and other cities around the country just roam the streets with knives and hopefully high on drugs or just completely out of it, setting up camp in anything, in a school, in a field, anywhere. But Britney Spears can't be trusted to live in a mansion by herself. What is she gonna do? Walk around with a knife? Maybe. But that's legal, apparently. That's my point. I'm not one of these people who's all like, oh, the homeless scourge and this and that. I get it. It's a complicated thing. There's a mental health crisis, and then there's no jobs, and there's no the economy and all this shit. I get it. But we act a certain way about it, right? We go, you can't, the people who try to keep them out of parks, the parks that their kids want to play in, or evil monsters. I think they can be callous sometimes, but I think in general, it's like, look, there's got to be some kind of. The answer can't be do nothing. I don't know what the answer is exactly, but it can't just be do nothing. But that's the answer a lot of people give. But these same forces say Britney Spears is somehow, if we let her live on her own, she will somehow create a temporal force that lets the great rapist Bill Cosby out of jail, for instance. But that's already been done. I mean, if your plan was to keep Britney Spears in house arrest or whatever you call it, conservatorship, to keep as almost like a seal, to keep Bill Cosby under wraps, well, it didn't work. So I don't know what to tell you. But she's in the news. I'm not sure what she's in the news for. She's in the news. She went to the court appearance and she sounded off on the judge. And I don't know if the judge, and now the dad is going after some woman who's involved with the conservatorship. This Jamie Lynn Spears guy. I mean, someone just give her a gun. Why is you telling me all these fans, why doesn't one of these fans break her out? All these podcasts, look, I'm telling you, if I started a podcast about someone famous and they were being kept against their will, I mean, you realize how quickly I would learn, tactics in the area and maneuver to be the person that freed. Imagine if I don't, like I said, I feel bad for Britney Spears, but I'm not particularly invested in her situation. But imagine if I was the greatest Britney Spears fan. I was in love with Britney Spears, and then she's being kept against her will, and I'm just gonna sit around doing nothing. I'm just gonna sit around starting a podcast. I'm breaking her out. I'm scaling the walls. I'm gonna be Batman. I'm turning myself into Batman, and I'm breaking around. What are these people doing? It's this do nothing generation. This generation of like, oh, we love you so much. We can't. We're here for you. Break her out of prison. Get her out of there. You know? Am I crazy here? Am I the one that's wrong? Because I'm saying like use physical force to like save her. I mean, we're sitting there like it's like you're watching that movie Room. That movie Room with what's her name, the Captain Marvel girl, Blake Lively, and Brie Larson, where she's kept in that room with her kid, and the guy's kidnapped her. It's like we're all just watching that. Like it's as if that was like in a museum, and we're all just watching her. And we're going like, that's sad. Maybe I should break. Maybe that'd be good for the podcast. I mean, that sounds cynical, but I mean, like, what does she care? If I'm breaking her out, what does she care if it's cynical or not? Because none of you are doing anything. I'm going to look into this. Because, you know, honestly, this generation, you're all just, it's a lot of posing going on. Posers. So, I don't want to say too much more because, you know, I got to keep operational discretion. Probably not going to do anything. I'll be honest with you. I mean, if this was, trying to think, if this was Mandy Moore being kept, you know, I used to like Mandy Moore. I didn't have her albums or anything, but you know, thought she was nice. She sang like a bird. Britney Spears, I mean, yeah. But someone out there should, right? I mean, like that's not Mandy. I'll be here for Mandy Moore, but someone else pick up the slack on this one. All right, someone save this woman. All right, so this has been great. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can sign up for the Patreon. You get an extra episode every week. Just follow the link in the description. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RayComp. Enjoy. We'll have the Patreon coming soon. This week, a couple days. So tune in. Have a great day.